Quasimodo's Heartbreak, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, 1996. Quasimodo's emotional arc is defined by isolation and psychological conditioning. Raised by Judge Claude Frollo in the bell tower of Notre Dame, Quasimodo has internalized the belief that he is monstrous, both in form and in worth. Frollo's verbal and emotional abuse reinforces this message constantly, keeping Quasimodo socially and emotionally imprisoned. The turning point comes when Esmeralda, a Romani woman, extends him kindness without obligation. She defends him from public humiliation during the Festival of Fools, not because she pities him, but because she recognizes his humanity. This act challenges Quasimodo's self-image. For someone deprived of affection, this interaction becomes a foundational emotional experience. It introduces the idea that he might be worthy of love, not just tolerance. Later, Quasimodo observes Esmeralda kissing Phoebus on the cathedral rooftop. The moment is quiet and restrained, there's no confrontation, no anger. His response is subtle but crushing. "She was kind to me," he whispers, not out of bitterness but from emotional collapse. He conflated compassion with romantic intent, a common result for individuals who have never experienced genuine affection. This moment signifies more than unrequited love. It marks the collapse of an identity he had just begun to construct. The fragile self-worth built on Esmeralda's kindness is invalidated. He retreats into the bell tower, which now functions not as a sanctuary, but as a symbol of reinforced rejection and despair. The scene illustrates how easily emotional progress can be undone when a person's entire perception of love and value is bound to a single thread of hope. Dumbo visits his mother. Dumbo, 1941. Dumbo's emotional journey is rooted in abandonment, ridicule, and maternal loss. After his mother, Mrs. Jumbo, is imprisoned for defending him from tormentors, Dumbo is left isolated. The circus, which should be a place of performance and wonder, becomes a site of exploitation and cruelty. Dumbo, a baby elephant, is subjected to mockery from both spectators and other animals, and is eventually separated from the only source of love and security he knows. In one of the film's most emotionally resonant scenes, Dumbo visits his mother's cage. The visual storytelling is deliberate and sparse. Mrs. Jumbo says nothing. Her voice is absent. Instead, she communicates solely through movement. Her trunk emerges through the bars, shaking slightly as it searches for him. When it finds him, she cradles him gently in a rocking motion, like a lullaby enacted in silence. The scene is accompanied by the song "Baby Mine," which underscores the emotional weight without distracting from the visual narrative. The animation focuses on micro-movements: Dumbo's tears, the sway of her trunk, the way he leans into her. There is no attempt to resolve the pain, no dialogue, no rescue, no explanation. The emotional impact is found in its restraint. The scene allows the viewer to sit with the reality of separation and maternal longing. When the circus workers arrive and pull Dumbo away, her trunk stays extended as long as it can. She doesn't resist, she can't, but her unwillingness to let go is made visible in that lingering gesture. The scene ends not with closure, but with disruption, forcing the audience to confront the reality of love that cannot protect or reunite. It is an emotional fracture with no immediate repair. Bambi's mom dies. Bambi, 1942. The emotional weight of this scene lies in its pacing, sound design, and what is deliberately left unseen. It begins with a peaceful, snow-covered forest where Bambi and his mother forage for food. This calm setting is quickly disrupted when she suddenly senses danger. The threat isn't visible. There is no hunter on screen, only the looming presence of man, conveyed through tension in the music and her sudden urgency. When she shouts, "Run, Bambi, run!" it marks a shift from safety to panic. The two deer flee through deep snow as the music intensifies. Then, a single, sharp gunshot. Bambi reaches safety, but his mother does not follow. The silence that follows emphasizes the finality of what just occurred. There is no visual of her body. This omission forces viewers to confront the loss through Bambi's eyes, amplifying the emotional confusion. Bambi calls out repeatedly, but only the wind answers. Finally, the great prince of the forest steps forward and says, "Your mother can't be with you anymore." The absence of comfort, closure, or explanation creates a sense of helplessness. For many young viewers, this is their first introduction to the idea that death can be sudden, permanent, and incomprehensible. Cinderella's dress is torn. Cinderella, 1950. This moment occurs just as Cinderella dares to hope for something better. After years of servitude, she prepares to attend the royal ball, believing she's finally found a chance at happiness. Her animal friends help her piece together a dress using scraps left behind by her stepsisters. The gown symbolizes her optimism and agency, an act of reclaiming her dignity. When she descends the stairs wearing the dress, her stepsisters recognize parts of it as their discarded items. Enraged, they attack. They rip the gown apart piece by piece, shouting accusations. Her stepmother stands by silently, watching the destruction without interfering. The violence is emotional as much as physical. Tearing the dress is symbolic of tearing down her confidence, her dream, and her moment of joy. Cinderella doesn't resist. She has been conditioned not to. Her silence and retreat reflect internalized powerlessness. She flees to the garden, collapsing in tears. The scene's power comes from the rapid collapse of hope. In one moment, Cinderella is close to freedom. In the next, she's reminded she has none. The moment is devastating not because of physical harm, but because of emotional humiliation and the erasure of her self-worth. The Beast dies. Beauty and the Beast, 1991. The climax of the film unfolds as the Beast lies fatally wounded on the castle balcony after a confrontation with Gaston. Moments earlier, he chose mercy, sparing Gaston's life despite having the strength to end him. That decision costs him. Gaston stabs him in the back before falling to his own death. As the Beast collapses, Belle rushes to his side. The scene becomes quiet. Rain falls. The surrounding chaos fades, focusing only on Belle and the dying Beast. His breathing is labored. He tells her he is happy to have seen her one last time. Belle, in shock, begs him not to leave her. As he closes his eyes and goes still, she whispers, "I love you." The timing is deliberate. It comes just moments too late. The emotional devastation stems from the transformation the Beast has undergone. He is no longer the angry, cursed figure from the beginning of the story. He has learned compassion, patience, and love. His death represents a loss of that redemption. The audience is forced to watch as Belle grieves, helpless, over someone she's just begun to truly understand and love. The magic that revives him does not come immediately. For a full moment, viewers are left in stillness. This delay allows the grief to register. It shows that love does not always come with reward, and even in fantasy, loss can feel painfully real. Meg gets hurt to save Hercules. Hercules, 1997. Meg acts like she doesn't care. She hides her feelings and keeps people away. But when a big stone pillar starts falling toward Hercules, she makes a choice. She pushes him out of the way and gets crushed instead. Meg lies on the ground, badly hurt. Hercules runs to her. She tells him, "People always do crazy things. When they're in love." This is the moment she stops pretending. She shows that she loves him not by saying it first, but by saving his life. For a long time, Meg felt like she didn't matter, but this moment proves she's brave and full of love. And even though she's in pain, she finally lets someone into her heart. Riley breaks down. Inside Out, 2015. Riley moves to a new city. She leaves behind her house, school, and friends. At first, she tries to stay happy, but inside, everything feels wrong. Her emotions, joy, and sadness are lost inside her mind. The others don't know how to help. One night, Riley decides to run away, but before she can, she remembers her parents' faces. She turns around and runs back home. She walks in the door and sees her mom and dad. She starts crying. She says she's sad. She misses her old life. Her parents hug her tightly. They tell her it's okay to feel that way. This moment matters because Riley learns it's not bad to be sad. Feelings aren't wrong. Letting them out is how we heal. And her parents love her no matter what she feels inside. Kayla lets Tarzan go. Tarzan, 1999. This scene represents one of Disney's most emotionally layered goodbyes. Kayla, a gorilla, is not Tarzan's biological mother, but she is the only parent he has ever known. When she first found him as a baby in the wreckage of his human family's treehouse, she made a choice to protect and raise him despite their differences. Over the years, she gave him love, guidance, and safety in a world that often treated him as an outsider. Now, as Tarzan chooses to leave the jungle to be with Jane and the humans, Kayla recognizes that her son no longer belongs only to the world she raised him in. Instead of protesting or trying to change his mind, she brings him to the treehouse where she first found him. This location is significant. It's where her journey as a mother began, and now it becomes the place where she lets that role end. Inside the treehouse, Kayla finds Tarzan's human clothes, his father's coat and hat. Dressing him in these clothes is a symbolic act. She's not just helping him change what he wears, she's acknowledging who he is and giving him permission to step fully into that identity. Her quiet, steady presence during this farewell shows strength. She knows this decision will leave a void in her life, but she chooses to support it anyway. Tarzan, in turn, gives her the words she needs. "You'll always be my mother." It's a moment of emotional clarity. He understands that being family isn't about biology, it's about love, care, and memory. Kayla's expression, part pride, part heartbreak, captures the sacrifice many parents make, loving someone enough to let them go, even when it hurts. The incinerator scene, Toy Story 3, 2010. The toys are trapped inside a landfill. They've fallen into a huge trash chute and are sliding toward a giant incinerator, an area with fire and heat that burns garbage. They try to escape, grabbing onto anything they can. Woody pulls Buzz. Buzz pulls Jessie. They all struggle, but the conveyor belt keeps moving them closer to the flames. At first, they panic. They keep climbing, yelling, and searching for a way out. But then they realize there's no escape. There's nothing left to hold on to. Buzz reaches out his hand, not to save himself, but to hold Jessie's hand. She grabs it. One by one, the toys stop fighting and take each other's hands. Woody hesitates, then grabs Buzz's other hand. They all close their eyes together. They are ready to face the end, together. This moment is emotional because the toys don't try to save themselves anymore. Instead, they choose to stay connected. In the face of danger, they hold on to friendship and love. Just before they reach the fire, a big metal claw comes down and saves them. But even after the rescue, the memory of that moment stays. It shows how powerful it is to stand by each other, even when everything feels hopeless. Bing Bong's Goodbye, Inside Out, 2015. In the depths of Riley's mind, Bing Bong and Joy try again and again to escape the memory dump, a graveyard for forgotten thoughts. Their rocket sled can't lift both of them. Bing Bong knows it. So one final time, he jumps off. Alone in the void, fading with every second, he watches Joy rise. "Take her to the moon for me," he says, smiling through his own disappearance. He knows Riley won't remember him, that his time is up. But it doesn't matter. He was her friend when she needed one, and that's enough. It's the quiet extinction of childhood wonder, delivered by someone who loved her enough to be forgotten. Hector sings, "Remember Me," Coco, 2017. Hector is fading, his memory on the brink of vanishing forever. But before that final erasure, he recalls a lullaby, a song he wrote for his daughter. "Remember Me." He sings it in a whisper, tender and slow. Not to be famous, not to be heard, just to be held in a memory one last time. In the living world, little Coco clutches the memory like a thread between worlds. And for a moment, she remembers her papa. Not as a legend, but as a father who loved her. The scene doesn't shout. It barely breathes. But its weight is enormous, because legacy doesn't live in fame. It lives in a child's heart. Anna freezes solid. Frozen, 2013. As Hans raises his sword to strike Elsa, Anna doesn't hesitate. Her legs barely work, her body is turning to ice, but she lunges forward anyway. Just as the blade comes down, she freezes completely, solid as crystal. The sword shatters on her back. Elsa turns and sees her sister, frozen mid-step, her final act a silent sacrifice. She kneels, broken, not by fear, but by love, lost. What devastates is the stillness, the echo, the reality that Anna acted on instinct, not expecting to survive, only to protect. And that love in its purest form is often silent, sudden, and final. Goodbye, Boo, Monsters, Inc. 2001. The emotional core of this scene stems from the growth Sully undergoes and the innocence Boo represents. From the beginning of the film, monsters are trained to fear children. They're taught that a child's touch is dangerous, that their world must stay separate. But when Boo accidentally enters the monster world, she challenges that belief. She doesn't act like a threat. She acts like a child, playful, trusting, and affectionate. Through her, Sully learns empathy. He starts protecting her, not because it's his job, but because he genuinely cares. By the end, Sully has risked everything to get Boo home safely. But to protect her permanently, he must let her go. The moment in Boo's bedroom is quiet, intentionally so. There's no dramatic music, no dialogue heavy with exposition. Instead, the scene unfolds with subtle emotional cues. Sully's hesitance, his forced smile, and Boo's joyful obliviousness. She giggles, shows him toys, bounces on the bed. She thinks everything is okay. Sully gently tucks her in. He knows what she doesn't. This is goodbye. He doesn't explain. Instead, he gives her one last soft smile and turns away. The closet door closes behind him. Then Boo sits up and says, "Kitty?" It's a single word, but it lands with full emotional weight. It shows that she still expects him to be there, She doesn't know he's gone. She doesn't understand why. This innocence is what makes the scene so powerful. Sully's grief is visible, but Boo's confusion makes the loss deeper because she never gets the closure he does. The audience feels both ends of the separation, Sully's quiet sorrow and Boo's unknowing heartbreak. The door is later destroyed, reinforcing the idea that some goodbyes are permanent. And while Sully later rebuilds the door, in this moment there is no promise of return, only love, loss, and the silent cost of doing what's right. Hiro watches Tadashi's video, Big Hero 6, 2014. After losing Tadashi in the explosion, Hiro descends into numbness and rage. He pushes everyone away. He even tries to erase Baymax's gentle programming. But then, Baymax plays a video. Tadashi, in a lab coat, recording his invention. It's simple. Trial after trial, failures, burns, frustration. But Tadashi keeps going. Each time, he smiles. "This is what I've been working on," he says over and over. His passion radiates through the screen. Hiro watches in silence, eyes full of tears. It's the moment he understands. Tadashi didn't just leave him. He left a legacy. That video, filled with effort and heart, becomes the thread that pulls Hiro back from grief. It's not a flashback. It's a goodbye. And it's unbearable in its quiet beauty. These moments stay with us not because they're loud, but because they're honest. They show that even in animated worlds, love, loss, and growing up can feel very real. If you want more deep dives into the most emotional moments in animation, watch for the next Disney explainer that bring the heart of each story to light.